You don't know what type of time they be on. I gotta make it home to my daughter. So it's just like, oh, I ain't going out.
Yo.
Hello.
What's up, co-workers?
What up, co-workers? Welcome back to another episode of the We Outside.
I didn't interrupt you this time. I promise. I was waiting.
You just did. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the We Outside Afterwork podcast. I am Dana.
I'm your favorite. I can't even talk right now. You got me fucked up. I'm your favorite, Aaron. And to my left, I got my brother, my actual blood brother, in the building, Mr. Armond, a.k.a. Mon G. What's good?
What's good?
Yeah, I told him he looks just like Aaron's son.
No, Aaron's son look like me.
Yeah. Either way, y'all got like the same face, which is crazy. That's dope, though.
The crazy thing is I've never seen it, never heard it. You ever heard it?
Really?
I heard it, you know, like when I took him to the Zuku practice, somebody said, that's your son? I'm like, no, that's my nephew.
Wait. So. Yeah, I see it, though.
Nah, I do see more resemblance in our daughters than I do with Jaden. I don't really see it.
Yeah, I haven't seen his daughter, but
you know, I take him.
You can have them, shit.
Yeah, he said you could take the child support too.
Nah. Technically, I'm not on child support. You know.
Oh, okay, my bad. Anyway,
the way that we get our guests acclimated to the show is we start with a nice game called Hot Takes. This way we able to loosen each other up, and we're gonna ask a couple questions. All right. So I'm gonna start with you. The youngest child, which is me, by the way. The youngest child is always the favorite. Do you agree or disagree?
I mean, it's a disagree and I agree too.
Why so?
Because
you know I'm the favorite.
Nah, you're not the favorite. But
I'm gonna stay out of this.
But you know, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna go your way.
Exactly, because I'm the smart one.
No, I think it depends on which parent we're talking about. Because I think each parent has their favorite.
I mean, I'm the middle child, so
okay.
Like, I'm grandma baby. So,
same. I'm the youngest out of my
mother,
brother.
That's him.
Okay.
So my grandfather, that was Dre.
Andre, that's our oldest brother.
You know what I'm saying?
Got you. So each of y'all have like a favorite.
I mean, I'm everybody's favorite.
Your grandparent.
Favorite, but favorite. You know, that's just how it is. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my mother baby, so, you know.
Okay.
What about you?
Makes sense. I would say for my parents, like my brother, who's 2 years older than me, like he's my mom's favorite for sure. Mm-hmm. And my dad's favorite. I think as I got older, I became the favorite. But initially, he was the favorite.
But you also your father's daughter. So
I know.
that makes it.
Yeah, we have that like father-daughter connection.
I was my father's favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
he can have that.
I was my father's favorite, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Regardless.
But for me, I personally believe that the youngest child is always the favorite because the parents have the ability to get out all of their shit, right? The oldest child, that's the struggle child. It's like
they're still trying to figure shit out.
Yeah, they're trying to figure shit out.
Yeah.
The middle child, if they want to keep going, that's like, all right, this motherfucker's probably crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, this motherfucker's probably crazy. So we're going to have to try again and get our perfect baby, which, you know, lo and behold, my mother got me. You know, shout out to Londa, you know, appreciate
So you're the middle child?
No, I'm the youngest.
Oh, the youngest. Okay.
Yeah,
and you're the middle child.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, let me say my card because I feel like we got that off. You should not hook up with anybody if they are drunk. What do y'all think? We'll start with you, Armond.
All right. I don't think you should. You wanna know why?
Why?
Because the next day, she could just be like, yo, did we do this? Did we do that?
Because y'all just don't know what happened when y'all are drunk.
She might not remember. I might not remember.
Next thing you know.
But the morning,
that's terrible.
You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So I wouldn't. You feel what I'm saying?
But there's levels to being drunk, though. I feel like if someone's like shit-faced drunk,
but
obviously
depending on who
shouldn't.
you are, like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, you can't, like.
And you might know this person.
If you out here really getting money, doing something, girls will just lay down with you. Talking about it's easy.
Okay.
I go out right now. Somebody, you know what I mean? Just give it up.
So then it's you to make sure that you're not just like the person that you're having sex with, though. You got to make sure there's consent there, and they're not so drunk to where they feel like.
Well, I'm not.
They don't remember
I'm old
nothing.
enough now that I wouldn't do it. You feel what I'm saying?
That's smart.
Like when I was young, yeah. You feel what I'm saying? But now that the age that I am now, I'm not doing it. And you get younger women the older you get. So like, I'm 35. So now you get a lot of 25 and up. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
You gotta explain more, cause I'm just like,
You know what I'm saying.
I don't. I
You know what I'm
don't.
saying.
I don't understand. Just cause from my perspective, cause I'm gonna speak from me. So I don't go out, like when I go out with my friends, we're not getting shit-faced drunk. Like, we don't do that. Like, we know our limits. We'll get a section, we'll get a bottle, and maybe we'll take shots. But we're also drinking water as we're out. Like, we're not just out there to be like, okay, we're gonna get blackout drunk and then not remember what happened last night. And then it's like, you truly don't know what happened. Like, we're too grown for that, like you said, number one. And number two, I feel like when you know your limits, you don't want to get to that point either.
I also feel like as a man, you got to be a lot more careful, because the tables get turned on you if a situation like he was talking about, where if I don't remember, I don't know what consent was, because a lot of times consent is implied these days. Whereas like me and you, we fucking with each other, we know what it is, and we gonna take it there. But if all of a sudden now, oh, I didn't consent to that, you don't have an argument. So the best way to do it is to not do it. Stay away from it. Let that shit go. And it is what it is. If you want to get drunk and go to brunch and be all crazy, do what you got to do. But make sure you put that shit in writing. Yeah. Because I'm not trying to get bagged up over some misunderstanding.
Have you guys ever experienced that before, where like a girl said you possibly did something and no?
Well, I have. I experienced a little something like that.
Okay.
But it ain't make sense to me, because it's like the next morning we still did what we did. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, whatever. But she did say like, yo, did we have sex? And I'm like, what?
She didn't even know.
She didn't know, but then the morning we still, you know what I mean? So it's like, so then I just like, I
just got to get out of that.
Yeah,
like,
just deal with her how I deal with her.
That sucks. Being a guy.
I'm like, I'm good.
Being a guy.
Yeah.
Y'all don't deal with that?
I've never dealt with that. No.
Like a dude didn't wake up and like, what happened and something happened.
No. Just because, like, at least for me, whenever it gets to that point, I'm well aware of what's going on. Like, I'm never too intoxicated where I don't remember what happened the next day, especially if I'm with somebody else. So I feel like guys, y'all experience that more though.
That's why I be saying, like some of my friends, they get drunk and they don't be remembering nothing. Now I get.
And how old are they?
I get drunk, but I get nice. I don't get all, I don't know what's going on.
Do you think age matters?
No.
Okay.
Sometimes people just alcoholics. People just, they enjoy themselves in that state of inebriation, so they just.
Some people get drunk and they just don't know what's going on. Like, I never get like that, so it's like. You feel what I'm saying?
Me neither. I can't relate.
Yeah, but we can relate to is we got a business owner in the building. Shout out to the business owners, black-owned business at that. Armond, he is the owner, operator, CEO of S&A Landscaping. So, we want to get into that a little bit. We want to know what it's like being a boss of your own business. How did you come to that? And tell us a little bit about it.
Well, when I started my business, it probably was like 2015. Me and my best friend, Sim. So first, I had, I got locked up. So I couldn't get a job. So I'm like, well, I bet. I had a couple dollars. You feel what I'm saying? So I bought a truck. I bought a lawnmower, a blower. And then as we started working, we just started getting everything we needed. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So that's how we really and I'm still doing it to this day. So like, that it just turned me into something different. So I don't know.
So it started from a place of you not being able to get hired because you had a record.
I had a pending charge.
Okay.
I didn't even get charged, but I had a pending charge. So every job I went to, they like, oh, you got something pending on your background.
I heard that's a thing.
So I'm like, damn.
Yeah, they look at
what
that.
I'm gonna do? So
right. But you were smart enough to be like, okay, well, let me just get it on my own, right?
Yeah.
You're like, these are my resources. Let me just make this happen with what I got. And now you have a business.
Yeah.
It's dope.
How did you maintain those clients as you started to get this house and that house and this house? How did you maintain that? How did you get new stuff?
Well, like first we just we got business cards, we got flyers, and we just started putting the groundwork in. Same as if I was hustling, I'm putting groundwork in. I'm going to Kenilworth, I'm going to Roselle, I'm going to all, the white towns to pass out the flyers. I'm sorry, but pass out the flyers
real.
and
That's
stuff.
true, yeah.
So, people start calling. Then as we working, we start gaining and gaining and gaining. And then it was just a wrap after that. So, I'm still learning. And I'm probably 8-9 years in, but I just get up and I don't never stop. So it just keep going.
So you mentioned one thing about hustling in the streets and how you related it to having a business. So it was kind of like the same concept where you knew to make business cards. You knew it was like, all right, I need to promote my business somehow, some way. So let me be outside on the ground, physically going around and passing out my information. Yeah. So was that something that I guess you took from the streets?
I guess, look, I'm going to tell you this. It's levels to everything.
Yeah.
So you just gotta figure it out. Whatever you do, you just gotta figure it out. So now, I look at houses. If I could get $150, $200 out of one house a month, and if I got 50 houses, so you do the math.
Right.
So that's how I look at it. Oh, I'm gonna get 6,000 because I'm getting 200 over here. And I got 20 houses. You feel what I'm saying? Just add up. So that's what I do. You understand what I'm saying? So now I'm trying to change my landscaping business, into a tow trucking company. So now I'm trying to go up a little, you know what I mean?
And that way you're not sticking to just being a seasonal business, you all year round.
Yeah, I wanna.
But why tow trucking though?
Because it's different levels of money. So now I done did the little $5,000-$6,000 a month with a business. You understand what I'm saying? So now I'm trying to level myself up. Okay. Now I'm gonna go.
Yeah, you want to go higher.
$20,000 a month. You feel what I'm saying? Then after that, then I start buying houses. You feel what I'm saying? So,
and then the real estate.
Yeah. So, but you gotta crawl before you walk. So.
Where did that come from? Because me and you, we literally cut from the same cloth. I'm not gonna say I don't have that same mentality and everything, but I feel like the way you get it is a lot more ingrained in you. How long you thought you had that in you just to scratch and claw and grind and figure this shit out? Because that's what you do. I see it.
Well, I just, I wasn't really book smart. So it's I'm smart in my own ways. You understand what I'm saying? So it's I went to college. I went to about 5 colleges. I played basketball. Aaron, my ex-girlfriend, they used to help me through college, but then they had their own, they was doing college too, so.
They had to focus on
yeah, so the last year, it just didn't work out. So then I just had to figure it out. And I wasn't going back to school because, I messed up scholarships and stuff like that, so. Grandmother I ain't paying, so it is what it is. So.
See, because he was the favorite, so.
So I just said, nah, I'm going to just go back home. Then I got a job working for the city. And then after that, I just took everything I learned at the city and got my own business.
And that's similar to what we talked about. Who was that? That wasn't Jazz. Lenny, how you take what these corporations are giving you and you take that information and parlay it into your own successes. So, it's good to see that you went from that point where you was working for the city and now all of a sudden you doing that on your own. Yeah,
you're leveraging the resources that you learned and now utilizing it to your own benefit. So I think that's commendable for sure. Okay, so I do want to get into fatherhood though, because Father's Day is coming up and it'll probably be here when this drops. So you both are fathers. Aaron, we know you have 2 children, and then Armond.
Allegedly. No.
Armond, you have a daughter. So when it comes to fatherhood for you guys, how do you feel like that has changed, I guess, your mindset and how you have an outlook, especially for you, for your business? Do you feel like your kids or your daughter is a leading force to keep pushing you to do better and get better?
Yeah. Of course, I go out, just, I used to just do whatever I wanted to do. So now it's I got to think what I do. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, my daughter, even right now, she could be calling me right now, and she needs something. I gotta be there for her.
Right.
Like, you feel what I'm saying? Regardless of what I'm doing, where I'm at. So now it's just like I just think about everything I do. Even when I go out, hang out with people, I don't hang out with certain people no more because you don't know what type of time they be on. I gotta make it home to my daughter. So it's just like, oh, I ain't going out. You feel what I'm saying? So that's just, you know.
Do you think being an uncle before you as a father helped you shape that? Because I know you and Jaden's relationship was always like you was real fatherly to him. He always could look up to you and get something from you. Do you think that helped you become the version of a parent that you are now?
Well, yeah, and you know something, but I also, you know, I dealt with, you know, other kids, so you know that kind of made me like to the father that I am now too. So it's like, you know, I can't leave out Keith and Ja because, you know, they the ones who really made me into the dad that I am, who I am. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So,
yeah, me as a father personally, I looked at what he would do to, it's not technically his stepkids per se. That's who Marquise and Jaja, who he's referencing. But to see the type of man that he was, always going above and beyond for his kids, who step kids or whatever you want to call them, that was like what fatherhood looked like to me. You know, both of us came up in the same situation where, yeah, he said he was our father's favorite, but he wasn't necessarily visible, right? He wasn't always there. So to see how he corralled these kids, especially kids that weren't his, that motivated me, because when I had Jaden, I was in college. I didn't have any ambitions of being nobody's father. But I had people like him, people like my grandfather, people like my uncles, really, you know, pull me aside and help me step up. So, you know, it's good to see that the black father figure is not some shit that's this mythical, absent person like we always see on TV. I've always seen people like him step up in my life. So shout out to you.
Where do you get your influence on being a great dad? Because I know sometimes people always say, well, I don't want to get married because I never saw what a marriage looks like. Oh, my parents never got married, which I feel like is a cop-out, to be honest, because it's like, well, if you grew up in a one-parent household, like let's say your mom raised you or your dad raised you and the other parent just wasn't there, and now you have children, like how do you know what to be an example of then?
Well, like my grandfather,
Okay.
and then, you know, my uncles, my Uncle Ricky, my Uncle Rick, you know, all my uncles, my Uncle Butch. So we still had men. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, even though we didn't have nobody to call daddy, but we call my grandfather daddy.
The father figures
but we still
there.
had them there. So it's just like, we can't, like, it.
And they were positive influences.
And we didn't really miss a beat.
Yeah, we didn't miss nothing.
Okay.
So it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like my grandfather's daddy, we still call him that. Like that daddy. They like, you call your grandfather daddy? Yeah, that's daddy.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute. Okay, so I would say because clearly, like I'm a female, so I can't necessarily relate. But my dad, and I think he still watches the episodes. So
yeah, his office watched the episodes.
Yeah, his job. So this may be a little personal, but we talking about Father's Day and like what that looks like for you. So his dad, like, I don't really know. Well, I don't know my grandfather on my dad's side, and my grandma on my dad's side, she did pass away when I was a baby, so I never got that experience from his side of the family. But his dad left them when he was like 12 years old and literally like went to go start a new family. Damn. So for him, it's like now, like he's always been a great father figure for me and my brother. Like he's always been there, always made sure we had everything we needed. But now his father's family that he started with someone else is trying to reach out to like rekindle like a family dynamic. And he has two siblings. He has an older sister and a younger brother. So my dad is the middle child. And both of them, they're like gung-ho. They're like, oh yeah, I want to spend time with them, get to know them, and like understand like how their father was with you know, with the not new kids, but like the other siblings that he created. But my dad is literally like, nah, like I'm not interested.
I'm real similar to your dad's
he's like, I'm not
perspective.
interested in meeting his like other family because I remember how you left me as a child. Have you experienced that?
So we somewhat experienced that, but I don't necessarily penalize my father anymore. But as a kid, I don't want nothing to do with that. Like, I was in the house where you had other kids and another woman and all that kind of stuff. Like, it offended me when I was a kid. As I gotten older, I got over that.
Around that time?
Like, all of our childhood, for the most part.
Okay.
Like, but at the same time, it wasn't on some shit where it's like, I'm jealous. It was like, I'm good. Like, we used to go to my godfather's house, and he lived right next door to him. So every once in a while, my godfather would be like, all right, y'all gotta go see y'all's pops. So we'll go over there. He'll take us down the street, get some popsicles and shit, like some candy. So it's not like he was absent and visible. He just wasn't what our expectation, or at least mine, I can't speak for you. He wasn't what my expectation for a dad was.
Was he different with his other children?
I can't tell you because I barely remember any interactions because I was a child.
Okay.
So you kind of stay in a child's place. And then once I got to the point where we could talk, I didn't feel like talking. Like, I'm that type of person where I try to tell y'all I'm an asshole. And if anybody experienced it, unfortunately, it was him, God rest his soul. As he got older in age, he would call me. And I would always see his number. It was like a 919 number from North Carolina. And I click it every time. I ignore it every time. Now, growing up and recognizing the type of man that he probably was that I didn't get to know, especially knowing the type of man that I am now, it's like maybe I could have given him a little bit more grace. Because I didn't truly understand the dynamics of relationships. I just figured, my father wasn't there.
But I think that takes time, though. Like, that's something that sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. Where as you get older, you tend to understand your parents more. Because I think we should do that as we get older, is give our parents grace. Because a lot of people do hold resentment towards their parents because they weren't necessarily equipped with either the loving skills or like different things that they needed growing up. Like, specifically for me, I say how like my mom, I've said this on previous episodes, how like emotionally we never had that connection because she was dealing with a lot of like childhood trauma things that she took into like her adulthood and then like raising us. But I don't hold that against her. I'm more so like, I'm more compassionate because I'm like, all right, I see how it's affected her life. So me being upset with her now, like being a grown woman and like taking care of myself, the only person who is truly affecting is me. Because am I going to not have a relationship with my mom because of how she wasn't necessarily there in certain ways as a child, where I could still have an opportunity for her to be in my life? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to hold that against her.
That's why a lot of people in their later stages in life, they start to make amends with their parents. Because
sometimes it's too late.
Once they realize that it wasn't personal, I think it's easier to go through those traumatic experiences together. But, as a kid, you don't know no better. Like, so I got this story, right? I don't know if he remember it, but I'm going to tell it. My father had came by. It was Christmas time. It had to be like 1995.
Are you not a year?
Only because I remember the basketball game that he brought my oldest brother.
Okay.
So he came by. He said, what do y'all want for Christmas? So my oldest brother, he said he wanted this basketball game, NBA Live 1995. I don't remember what Armond wanted, but all I wanted was the Sega Game Gear, right? And I was big on that. Like, that's the only thing I wanted. I don't want nothing else for Christmas, just the Soccer Play Sonic. He ended up getting everybody what they wanted for Christmas, and I got a train set. It was a wooden train set. It was a wooden train set.
Why are you laughing?
Because he used to see me playing this stupid ass train set.
I remember the train set.
Okay.
So
but that wasn't what you wanted.
It wasn't what I wanted,
Okay.
but because I'm a child and that's my dad, I'm doing everything I can to make this fucking train set work. But it's like I have to force myself to play with it, right? And honestly, that's a metaphor for our relationship. It's like we had to force each other to go through these moments to have with each other. And it wasn't until he passed away, unfortunately, where I understood it. And it took me going through my own shit as a dad, as a lover, whatever the case may be, to really understand what he probably was going through. And that's why I give him grace, because I see it now.
So I was going to say, let's say you had the same feelings of how you're feeling now a couple years ago. Do you think your relationship would be different if, like, you were more, not understanding, but, like, you got it when he was alive?
I'm still an asshole, so I don't know if he would have necessarily gotten 110% of the nice version of me. Because I think we all still keep shit in the back of our head. But at the same time, it's like, I got some family members that, you know, I fuck with, but when I was a kid, I didn't really fuck with you like that. Because I know what you did.
How y'all feel about that? Like family members that you kind of feel like the relationship is forced. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, well, we're family, we're blood, but do I have to have a relationship with you just because we are family members? Or do you feel... No, okay, so you're shaking your head no.
I don't think
so. Okay.
Why not?
Because just because you family, you don't gotta... Just don't say nothing to the person.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
And sometimes they act weird, right? Like, they act real funny, and it's like, well, should I just accept it? Because especially around the holidays, right? That's when people's families start to get together and spend time with each other. And then you'll see families that you haven't seen in a long time, but just because it's a holiday, I'm supposed to spend time with you.
So the bright side about, excuse me, our family is we typically spend time together. Excuse me, damn. We typically spend time together a lot. So it don't come off fake because we see each other too much. Like, everybody's within like proximity. Like, he lives down the street from this person, and this person lives a mile from this person. So we're all close. So if we really got some shit we need to get off our chest, we can go get it off our chest.
Okay. And I think that's important because for me, I make it apparent, like, I don't have children yet, but I have cousins who I grew up with who have kids. And usually they'll have like a birthday party for their children. And I'm like, well, I want to go.
You the bougie auntie that be coming in?
I be having the gifts. So I be having the bags of gifts, and they know I'm going to have something for them because that's my way of showing like love. And like when I come around, I want them to be happy and remember these stuff because I always remember how I had certain family members when they came around, I knew they would not necessarily give me something, but I'll be happy to see them because they gave me something. And as a child, like, those are the memories that stick with you. So
positive and negative, because clearly I got a gift and that memory stuck with me. So.
Yeah, but like I think for me, I am like that because I don't have a child to bring to these functions, and like it's never that dynamic. So I was like, let me bring toys then, like to show you that I love you, because I don't see you every single other week. So when it is your birthday, like I want to show you that this is my way of expressing my love for you. Yeah. So, all right.
But I also want to like definitely hone in on being a girl dad too, because
you both have daughters.
He don't have a son. I have a son, so it's a little different, right? You're a lot more playful with the son. You're a lot more rough with the son. Small things that you don't do, like even mornings when you get them ready. You're not like doing hair and taking a little time. It's like go outside. You might brush the peas out your head, but for the most part, it's like
with the daughters, you definitely gotta like
take so much more time.
Patience.
Right?
Patience. My daughter, the boss to me. She the boss to me.
That's usually how it goes.
But like it make sure I'm good though.
So when you take her to things like getting her nails done and getting her feet done, what made you want to do that? Was it just her wanting to do that, or did you see that as something that you wanted to do for her?
First, it was her. Because I guess she see her mom get her nails done, so she said she want to get her nails done. And next thing you know, I'm getting my nails done.
Yeah, you have to.
Now I make it like, we go every 2 weeks. Like I go get my nails done, she get her nails done. So
that's dope.
You doing tea parties? You gonna put you gonna paint your nails?
I don't do the tea parties. You
don't play with the Barbie dolls with her, and like just be there as
we do, but I don't play with no Barbie dolls and nothing like that. Like I got her right now. I got her a little Nintendo. I'm trying to get her, but she don't even play it.
Like a video game.
Yeah, she don't play it. She just want to ride her bike now. So.
How old is your daughter?
She 4. She be on 5 on July 11th. Yeah.
Shout out to Ava.
Shout out to Ava.
She a nut. She's just like her damn daddy, a fucking nut.
Oh gosh.
But not only are you a father, but you're a brother to me particularly. You trying to get emotional?
Emotional.
Yeah. So.
We get into it on the podcast.
Yeah, we get into
we get into your feelings, and we like to break shit down.
So when Dana started with us today, she said, "Oh, y'all look alike," and all this kind of stuff, right?
Around the eyes.
Growing up, he was the older brother. Like our oldest brother, he was a little bit far removed from us in terms of who we grew up around and whatnot. But growing up, I'm in his shadow, right?
Okay.
So a lot of my early insecurities, in all honesty, was trying not to be him, right? Now, the crazy part is, as a brother, I'm supposed to want to be like my big brother, right? Star basketball player, getting all the girls.
Not necessarily.
I'm just saying that's what you should want to strive to be.
Yeah.
Everything about
At least
him
the
and
older brother to be like a good example.
Yeah.
Okay,
He was always a good example. Everything about him was positive in my
You
eyes.
be like Dre or me?
At that time, I wanted to be like him, right? But the stigma came, and everybody around us literally making me little him. So the easiest way to piss me off.
What does that mean?
I'm saying the easiest way to piss me off would be to call me Lil Armond.
Oh.
Like I wanted to be my own man.
Yeah, you wanted your own identity
So
in the streets.
a lot of it was, he cast a big shadow, right? So it's like,
Why was it like with sports and stuff?
definitely with sports, because that's where a lot of our friends came from, a lot of our interactions came from. So part of it was like, I want to be better than him. I don't want to be just like him. I want to be better than him. And I thought that was unfair growing up in my brain as a brother. Like, I think I gave him a lot of hard times. He might not even notice it, because he used to always try to look out for me everywhere he go. If he had an extra piece of chicken, he'll give it to me and stuff like that. But all I'm thinking about is, I want your chicken, right? Because I had no choice but to want to be better than him, because every single person outside of our view kept comparing me to him. Did you feel that?
I mean, I didn't feel it, but he said it. He said this before, so like, it must have really made you feel that way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I would say with my situation, because I do have an older brother who's 2 years older than me, and people used to think we were twins because we have like the same.
Y'all do look like I met your brother.
When we were
before.
younger, we used to look a lot alike in the face. So I can relate to that, because it got to a point, especially when in college, because I kind of knew like what I wanted to do outside of college. Like, I wanted to have a job, because I knew I'd have to pay these loans back as soon as I graduated. So I kind of had a plan. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to start looking for a job at this date, and then I'm going to move out, be on my own, and like I'm going to really start being an adult. And for my brother, like, it did just take him time to get on his feet and get everything together and kind of like find his path. So it got to a point where people started to compare both of us. They're like, well, you should have been the older sister, because you seem to have more of like a plan for your life. And I always thought it was fucked up, because the worst thing you can do is compare siblings.
Which is what we dealt with.
Yeah, and then like tell them.
At least I dealt with.
Right, like, they'll be like, oh, you should be more like Dana. Like, why didn't you do this? Because it's kind of like you guys grew up in the same household, right? But at the same time, these are two different personalities. So you can't expect the same outcome from a completely different person. And everyone's like life is different. So it didn't like really create a wedge between us, because we always had a close relationship. But it got to a point where like my brother was just really like going through it and trying to like figure out what he wanted to do in life, because he was into sports, and that wasn't like a career path for him. So it was kind of like, all right, well, what can I do next? And it takes people sometimes like longer to like figure it out. And for me, like, I just kind of am like a go-getter. Like, if I want it, I'm gonna go get it. So it just got to a point where it kind of like made our communication not as frequent as it usually was when we were younger. So we fell off with the communication up until recently, and he has like a more stable job and like feels more comfortable within himself. Because I feel like for guys, especially when your finances and your job isn't together, you don't necessarily want to be
Dead ass.
like,
I don't be wanting to do
around
nothing.
people.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. And I think that was the case for my brother.
Yeah.
You got something? I didn't want to interrupt you, but speaking of like that relationship that you and your brother had, obviously you guys are doing better now, right? For me and Armond, we've been clicking on all cylinders for the last couple of years, and I think part of what helped me in my own insecurities, because again, he ain't had nothing to do with it. We both ended up moving around at the same time. He ended up transferring high schools. I ended up moving to Pennsylvania. And when I moved to Pennsylvania, I was able to get my own identity a little bit.
Because nobody knew, like, your brother.
It was less about nobody knowing him and more about people actually knowing me.
Okay.
And then what I didn't realize is, and this is when I learned that maybe I was being too hard on myself and being way too hard on him, is that when I came into my own and I came back to Jersey,
you felt more confident.
Yeah, and people also saw me as me. Like, don't get me wrong, it was still some people that would be like, oh yeah, that's such brother. But it was less offensive because I'm like, I got my own identity now. And I think it's a lot of siblings in this world that deal with that. Our oldest brother, Andre, the first time I ever dealt with that was honestly a mistaken identity for him. I had this teacher, it was a science teacher in like 6th or 7th grade. It was me and this boy in the class named Andre also. And she just used to always call me Andre because, you're Andre's brother. I remember you.
That was your brother. Okay.
And then I got a bad grade. So I'm like, I've been passing all these tests. You know I'm smart as shit. I'm like, I've been passing all these tests. I've been doing all my homework, and I don't do homework, but I'm doing homework in your class. And how I'm getting a D in science. Like, I know my science. Like, that's one thing I know. It was like biology.
You talk about chemistry all the time.
So when she gave me that grade, I'm like, yo, she clearly thinks that my name is Andre. She clearly don't know that my name is Aaron. But at the same time, that was the first thing that made me think, like, yo, I got to get out of these shadows. Because I don't want my life to be dictated off of somebody else's. And then, we wasn't always the nicest students sometimes. So we were little troublemakers. And so every time...
Yeah, I was the ones that had to sit separate.
Yeah. So every time I would go in the office, it was like, oh, you just like such and such. It's like, damn, I can't escape it.
Yeah.
But part of it, we wasn't troublemakers. It just so happened that, being black in certain school systems.
They used to suspend us like, we used to be suspended like 16, 17 times.
Damn, were y'all like fighting? Like,
no.
And we had good grades. But it's just like, we ain't going to detention, Saturday detentions, we ain't doing all that. So they'd suspend us 3 days. And
That's
it would just be
crazy.
like that.
I had got suspended so many times. They sent me to the superintendent's office. And he was like, why are you in my office? I'm like, well, y'all sent me. I didn't volunteer to come to your office. He was like, anybody that gets suspended 10 times in a year, you're supposed to get expelled from school. This is my freshman year of high school. But he's like, I'm looking at your transcripts. All you did was got office detention. Why don't you just go to detention?
Is it just from talking though?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know me, I talk a lot.
I got detention once. So the one time that I got detention, because I was kind of like a quiet kid. Like, I had my friends and whatnot, but I would go to school to learn. Like, that was... I was that... Yeah, I was like, let me learn what the fuck I'm going to school for. Anyway, I remember I was in 3rd grade. And me and my brother, like, he was always, like, 2 grades ahead of me. So I was in 3rd grade and he was in 5th grade. So we would always, like, walk to school together when we could. And then he would, like, go off to either, like, high school, junior high school, whatever. But I remember we both got detention this one time because I don't know why we would always get to school late, and we live like up the street.
It seems appropriate for you.
Shut up, okay? But it was just so weird. And this one time we got detention, like, I kind of felt like it was the end of the world. I'm like, oh my fucking God, like, I got detention in 3rd grade. So ever since then, I made sure I never got it again.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God.
Messing with him and my cousin Justin. We always talk about Justin on the podcast. It was like a fucking blizzard one time, and it was like 3 feet of snow outside. I'm walking to school with these niggas. They're my older family members, my brother and my older cousin. I'm following them because, they supposed to guide me to school. These dudes out here making tunnels in the snow and shit. They over here, we was like 3 hours late.
To school?
Wet.
Oh my gosh.
During the fucking blizzard. But it's like, that's the importance of being a younger brother, right? But
you do follow in a sense though, right? Just because you don't necessarily know better. And I feel like with older siblings, especially with my brother, like, he did teach me how to ride a bike. Like, he taught me like little things.
You still know how to ride a bike?
I do.
Okay, I'm about to say you don't look
I was riding a bike all through 2020 lockdown.
Okay.
So yeah. I'm athletic. Okay.
All right, I see it.
Because you've been trying to play me.
Listen, no, I ain't never
and
seen
I need the coworkers to know, like, Aaron be on some
we
shit.
going on we outside after work bike riding tour. If anybody want to come, we on
around the city. They got the city bikes.
Well, as long as
Like scooters, everything.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Long as Karen don't claim your bike,
Oh, no.
We don't want none of that.
It's not like that in the city.
Anything
though.
else your brother taught you?
That I was just gonna say, it goes back to just wanting to follow your older sibling because you feel comfortable in like different things that they're like teaching you as you guys are, you know, getting older. So when they do stupid shit, it's like you'll do stupid shit with them just because you're a child, like you don't know better.
And they are horrible influences. Like me and this man, he done had me beat up people. Like, yo,
What?
it was one time.
Like he told you to beat
No,
somebody
it was just
up?
one time because I had wore his belt to the park, and this dude we was playing tag or some shit. His name was James, and he broke the belt. But instead of him getting mad at me, he like, yo, he broke my belt. You need to go fix
handle that.
But if my brother give me marching orders, you know, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. You know, that's what family. That's the hierarchy. So you know, that was like one of my first fights. But it's like, nah, my brother told me, you know, get out there, handle your handle, and it's like, it makes you feel like a better little brother. Like, now obviously you haven't been an older sister, right?
I feel like the older sister a lot of the times.
What does that mean to you? Like, if you can conceptualize
What does
that?
it mean? So it means being. So I think with my brother dynamic, it shifted a bit just because it got to a point in my life where like I'm living on my own. I have like a salary job. Like I'm doing all the little things, like trying to like navigate through life, right, in adulthood. So there were times where like I had to just tell my brother and like give him motivational talk in order for him to just like find his way. So those points for me were more of like, all right, let me step into this older sister role. Not necessarily because I am older.
That's not an older sister. That's just a brother. It's like a younger, older. You could be younger or older because
You can.
He could talk to me about something, and
Right.
then I could talk to him about something. So it's like.
So it's just y'all
But
dynamic.
that's just how
Yeah.
it felt though, only because like it was coming from a space where like my brother was seeing the things that I was doing and him not being at that point yet. So he was more so asking me like, okay, well, what exactly did you do with this? Can you help me with my resume? I know you're good with that, so can you write this so I could get a better job? So that's why I said like it comes from like an older sister, because normally I don't want to say normally because I don't know like people's dynamics, but most times it's like the older sibling is usually further in life as far as like, all right, they got their first plays. Now you're asking your older sibling like how that was. So that's what I mean. Like I was kind of like walking him through
the ideals.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
but he was still like my older brother, where I would come to him for stuff as well. And obviously he is older, but that's just like what it looked like for me.
Well, you're a younger brother too. Tell me what it's like being a little brother.
Man, I mean,
Because you had to deal with a little bit of what I dealt with in terms of Dre setting the tone and you essentially following his footsteps and stuff.
I ain't gonna hold you, cause you know, we from North, but we lived in Union Hillside. So like, I'm not gonna hold you. My brother Dre, everybody knew him. Like, yo, oh, you Dre brother. You feel what I'm saying? So I be like, damn, how you know him? Oh, I sold him a car. I'm talking dudes coming with tattoos all on their face. I'm like, how do you? And he always makes sure, like, yo, that's my little brother. I be meeting people, not even meeting people, because, you know, we grew up from over there, so we know everybody. So, but, you know, once I got older, I didn't know how much people know him. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, dang, yo, you on Stratford, people know you over here. Johnson, I'm just like, dang, you just everywhere. He like, nah, I just be selling cars to people, and, you know, people really fuck with him. So it's just like, damn.
But I think that's nice that he like always introduced you to.
Yeah, he always made sure like, yo, that's my little brother.
Yeah, like this is
and
my
they'd be
brother.
like, how you your little brother? Like, cause we don't look nothing alike.
Oh,
We looks nothing alike. But
I never
you know,
seen him, so I don't know.
he makes sure like, yo, that's my little brother.
Yeah.
Dana did see him, by the way, because she met
This was
both of them
years
at the same
ago,
time.
okay? My memory is not that great.
She
It was-
When it was,
It was your birthday party like a couple
It was
years
at
ago.
the
We had
house.
everybody
Yeah,
at the
we went to the
crib.
cookout.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
there.
But on that same time, like the same way he talked about how Dre always made sure everybody knew, hey, this is my brother, you know, look out for him. Subtly, he did the same thing for me. It's just me not understanding that that's what he's supposed to do, because I'm not a big brother. I don't know what that's supposed to look like. I'm just following, and I'm like, damn, I just wanted to be me. You know?
And I would say for me too, because me and my brother, like, we did go to college at the same time. He is 2 years older than me, but when I transferred to Kane in 2020, not 2020, oh my God, 2012, he transferred as well from St. Peter's because it was, less money. But he was always like with this one, he had like a girlfriend, and it was always like them two. So I was the more like outgoing person, like meeting people and networking shit. So like whenever I was with my brother, like I would tell people like, oh, this is my brother Marquise, so they knew like, all right, like we're related, so don't fuck with him.
And as a sister, you definitely supposed to be throwing him alley-oops with the friends, like.
Wow.
Yeah.
You wildin'.
You know what's funny though, like all of my friends liked him.
Good.
So
that's what.
But the weird part was like when me and my friends like got like good friends, and they were around a lot, like coming to my house to visit and like whatever, they would like literally see him as a brother.
Nah, you
because like we're all hanging out, like we're like they're seeing like how he is and his personality, and it's like, yeah, no, he's like my brother.
He is your brother.
No, for them, like my friends, they're like, oh, he's like my brother.
Yeah, you make sure you tell them that I'm not your cousin. That's just for play on We Outside at the Work.
No, you my cousin. And you my other cousin.
But we getting towards the end of the show, and one thing that we like to talk about at the end of the show is what do outside look like you for this summer? Obviously, you said Ava's birthday is in July,
and it doesn't have to be partying. Like it could be like business stuff.
I don't really do that no more. I probably travel a couple places.
Where's your favorite place to go?
I want to go gamble.
Where?
I want to go to Dubai.
Oh, that's on my list.
But they got a casino out there. But probably won't do that. So I'll probably go to Vegas. Probably 2 times. And then...
Do you gamble a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gamble a lot. But...
Do you win a lot?
Yeah, I win a lot. I win a lot too.
That's good.
I could be up 20 bands tomorrow. And I could be down 10 bands. Just like that.
Do y'all like take y'all winnings? Like when you win a lot, is this like the cutoff where I was like, all right, I'm done? Or do you just keep gambling?
I mean, it depends. Like, I went to the casino yesterday.
Ain't tell me, by the way.
I went to the casino yesterday. I took $600 out. I came up $1,900. So I'm like, I'm out.
Oh, that's great.
I'm out.
So you left. He's like, I'm good.
Yeah, because, I haven't really been winning. So, like, when I came up that little bit, I said, all right, boom. I ain't
so you know your limits.
Give it back
exactly,
to him.
Yeah.
I was up there for, like, an hour and a half. Just went to sleep.
Yeah.
Nah, I remember this one time he came to Atlantic City. Just on some random shit, and he was like, yo, I'm in the casino. We went to Ocean Casino, and we sitting at this table. I don't win. Like I be giving it, taking it, giving it, taking it. But when I tell you we was just vibing this night, we might have left for like $2,000-$3,000.
Damn.
And it was just off of like, yo, just have fun, just don't worry about nothing. You here for a good time, not a long time, and we was just vibing.
Yeah, I'm not a big gambler.
We don't get you the AC.
The one time that I did really like gamble for real, because I want to do the tables like blackjack and not spades, but what's the other? They don't got spades.
Poker.
No, there's another card game. I don't know.
War.
Anyway. No,
they do got
not in the casino.
They got it in the casino.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do got it.
I went to this casino when I was in Arizona last year, and it was like on a Native American reservation because they have a lot of those out there. Exactly.
Allegedly.
No, that's a fact.
I know. I'm just making sure.
I was winning like crazy. Like I don't know. I usually don't gamble, so like I'll kind of know my limits. Like Armond said, where like if I'm up, I'm like, okay, I'm out.
Well, sometimes I don't know my limits.
Oh,
because I could be up 5,000-6,000.
Yeah,
probably more than that. I done lost probably 15,000 in one day, just staying in the casino all day.
Is it because you feel lucky and you're like, let me keep
fun.
It'd be like,
it's addicting?
Nah, it just be like, it's fun. Then you start chasing. And if you a gambler, you know you're going to get it back. So it's like, might be down 10, 15, but then you'll be up.
So you're
like
always hopeful.
I hit on a $40 ticket for $5,000-$6,000. And I just lost all that money trying to play cards. And then I just hit for $40. Like, I hit on the picket. Like some dumb stuff like that.
And that's something that was trickled down from our generations.
It's like you got to be in it to win it.
Yeah, like my grandparents, that was their thing. Every day they would go to the liquor store. They would get their midday picket, their evening picket, play the same numbers.
Yeah, my dad plays the lottery every day.
And so
he's been playing for like over
the worst
30
part
years.
is when them numbers come and they don't play it. Yo, my grandfather, every single time my grandfather will call me or call our mom, you know, his birthday just came out. Like, damn.
That's how my dad is. Like, he has like a science to what he does, where he writes down some type of formula to win the winning numbers. But he's won like big jackpots, but not like $1 million pot or whatever. No. But that's like the thrill of it, right? It's that's
it's coming
your
one
excitement.
Day. Manifestation, right? Ain't that what we talk about?
Exactly. That's what we talk about a lot.
So, you gonna do some gambling this summer when you outside?
Possibly not. Possibly not.
Thank you, Marv.
No, my summer, I think I said this before, where I'm currently in my stocks class, so I'm learning.
Which is a gamble. Mm-hmm. A positive gamble.
But no, there's a science to it, though. No, there's literally like...
She got that from Pops. Shout out to Pops. Happy Father's Day.
You have to study the charts and study like the information. It's not a gamble for real, but it's risk taking for sure. But yeah, that's what I'm doing, and then I'm kind of just seeing like where the summer takes me and being open.
Yeah, this summer I'm just gonna keep on being inside a little bit. Honestly, my new job it's been a lot of driving. It's been a lot of hectic travel. I'm tired. Like, I just be going home and I'll go to sleep. I wake up to Nori using the potty and stuff like that. Things like that wakes me up and excites me. Okay. So I'm just happy to see what y'all got going on. You know, I'm happy to see what our coworkers got going on, especially if they email us. You know, we want to see what they talking about.
If y'all want to come on the podcast and join the conversation, what's the Gmail?
WOAWpod@gmail.com.
Yeah. All right, this was fun, Armond. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Got it.
That's when you're supposed to say, thank you for having me. I love y'all. I watch y'all every single week. You know, low-key big shout out to Armond. He definitely keeps an eye out on certain individuals to help get on the podcast. Him and Jazz are real good friends and stuff like that. He also knows Justin from way back in the day. I think you know LaShawn too.
Yeah, Justin was on the podcast. So, yeah.
You know, we all interconnected somehow, some way. But with that being said,
we outside and we out.
I'm the only one out.